For decades, the very name Bermuda Triangle has conjured images of inexplicable disappearances, of ships swallowed by the sea and planes vanishing from the sky without a trace. It's been blamed for countless tragedies, fueling tales of supernatural forces, alien abductions, and even gateways to other dimensions. But what if I told you that science has finally begun to unravel this so-called enigma? The truth, as it often is, might be far more grounded than the sensational legends, and perhaps even more surprising in its simplicity. Picture this: a vast, enigmatic, triangular region in the North Atlantic Ocean, roughly bounded by the bustling metropolis of Miami, the serene island paradise of Bermuda, and the vibrant shores of Puerto Rico. This immense stretch of water, covering over 500,000 square miles, has, for well over half a century, captivated our collective imagination. It's a place where the line between fact and fiction is blurred, spawning countless books, documentaries, and whispered theories around campfires. The sheer number of alleged disappearances, hundreds of ships and planes, thousands of lives, has cemented its place as one of the world's most enduring mysteries. The legend truly began to take hold with a series of chilling incidents that defied easy explanation. Perhaps the most infamous was the disappearance of Flight 19-5 U.S. Navy Avenger torpedo bombers that vanished during a routine training mission on December 5, 1945. Led by an experienced pilot, Lieutenant Charles Taylor, the flight encountered unexpected navigational difficulties. Their last garbled radio transmissions spoke of compasses malfunctioning, of being utterly lost, and of the ocean looking strange. Despite extensive search efforts, no wreckage or bodies were ever found. Adding another layer to the horror, a PBM Mariner flying boat dispatched to search for Flight 19 also disappeared, believed to have exploded midair. This double tragedy sent shockwaves through the nation and ignited the first sparks of the Bermuda Triangle myth. Then came the SS Marine Sulphur Queen, a massive cargo ship carrying a highly volatile load of molten sulfur, which vanished without a trace in February 1963. It was last heard from off the coast of Florida, en route to Norfolk, Virginia. No distress signal was ever received, no debris field discovered, only a few life preservers and a life raft found days later, offering no clues to the ship's fate or the 39 crew members aboard. These incidents, among others, weren't just isolated tragedies. They were the foundational stones upon which pervasive and enduring mythology was built. A mythology that would persist for generations, challenging logic and inviting speculation. But now, the tide is turning, and scientific inquiry is finally shedding light on what truly happens within those mysterious waters. Popular culture, ever eager for a captivating mystery, ran wild with explanations. We've all heard the tales. Aliens using the triangle as a cosmic portal, the lost city of Atlantis interfering with navigation, or time warp swallowing ships and planes whole. These fantastical narratives fueled global fascination, selling millions of books, filling movie theaters, and capturing imaginations worldwide. But here's what the data actually tells us. The Bermuda Triangle experiences no more disappearances or incidents than any other heavily traveled region of the ocean. When maritime and aviation experts account for the sheer volume of air and sea traffic traversing this vital shipping lane and flight path, the statistics are perfectly ordinary. Compared to equally busy areas like the English Channel, the Bermuda Triangle doesn't stand out. The perception of danger is far greater than the statistical reality. So, what's really happening? Science provides far more compelling explanations, rooted firmly in nature's powerful, sometimes unforgiving, laws and human factors. One major player is the mighty Gulf Stream. This incredibly powerful, fast-moving ocean current acts like a colossal conveyor belt, quickly sweeping away any evidence of a disaster. A downed aircraft or sinking ship, along with its debris, can be dispersed over hundreds of miles in hours and hours, making search and rescue operations incredibly challenging, if not impossible. Then are the sudden, violent weather systems common in this tropical and subtropical region. This area is a notorious breeding ground for hurricanes, tropical storms, and intense squalls that appear with little warning. Rogue waves of towering walls of water can capsize even large vessels. These extreme conditions overwhelm aircraft and vessels in minutes, often before a distress signal can be sent. A more intriguing scientific theory involves methane hydrates. Vast deposits of frozen methane gas are trapped beneath the seabed. Geologists theorize that seismic activity or changes in ocean temperature could trigger sudden, massive releases of this gas. When methane bubbles rapidly to the surface, it drastically reduces water density. A ship caught in such a methane bubble without a cart or twig. A ship caught in such a methane bubble could lose buoyancy instantly and sink like a stone.
The Bermuda Triangle, a name synonymous with inexplicable disappearances, supernatural forces, and a chilling sense of the unknown. But what if the true explanations are far more grounded in science and in the fascinating, sometimes terrifying, realities of our natural world? Let's peel back the layers of myth and dive into the real science at play. One of the most compelling scientific theories points to the ocean floor itself. Beneath the waves, in certain geological formations, vast reserves of methane gas are trapped within ice-like structures called methane hydrates. These hydrates are stable under immense pressure and low temperatures. However, shifts in ocean currents, underwater landslides, or even seismic activity can destabilize these delicate formations. When that happens, the methane rapidly converts from a solid to a gas, erupting from the seabed in colossal, turbulent plumes. Imagine a massive underwater geyser of gas bubbles. As these gas bubbles rise through the water column, they dramatically reduce the water's density. Think of it like trying to float in a giant, effervescent soda. Water, normally dense enough to support a ship's hull, suddenly becomes far less buoyant. A vessel caught in such a methane eruption would lose its lift almost instantaneously, sinking rapidly, and without warning, leaving little to no trace. It's a terrifying, yet entirely natural, phenomenon that could explain some of the most sudden and complete disappearances. Beyond the depths, another natural phenomenon has historically contributed to the triangle's mystique: magnetic anomalies. The Earth's magnetic field isn't uniform. It has localized variations caused by geological factors, such as large deposits of iron ore or volcanic rock beneath the ocean floor. In the Bermuda Triangle, there are indeed areas where the magnetic north deviates significantly from true north, and where compasses can behave erratically. For centuries, when navigation relied solely on magnetic compasses, such anomalies could lead to significant navigational errors, especially in poor visibility or during storms. A ship veering off course by even a few degrees over hundreds of miles could end up far from its intended path, lost in the vastness of the ocean. However, it's crucial to understand that in our modern era, with sophisticated GPS inertial navigation systems and satellite communication, these magnetic quirks are well documented, understood, and easily compensated for. They pose virtually no threat to contemporary vessels or aircraft. So, if natural phenomena offer plausible explanations, why does the myth persist? The real culprit behind the Bermuda Triangle mystery isn't supernatural. It's profoundly psychological. Our brains are incredible pattern-seeking machines, hardwired to find connections and narratives, even where none objectively exist. This innate tendency, combined with powerful cognitive biases, creates fertile ground for myths to take root and flourish. Consider confirmation bias. Once we hear about the Bermuda Triangle, we subconsciously seek out and remember incidents that seem to fit the narrative of mysterious disappearances, while overlooking the thousands of safe passages. Then there's the availability heuristic. Sensationalized stories of vanished ships and planes are vivid and easily recalled, making us overestimate their frequency and uniqueness. Add to this the relentless amplification by sensationalized media coverage, books, documentaries, and news reports eager for a dramatic story, and you have the perfect recipe for a modern myth that transcends generations. The media often focuses on the lack of wreckage, which, while unsettling, is a common outcome in the deep, vast, and unforgiving ocean. The truth is, the ocean is vast, powerful, and unforgiving everywhere. Ships and planes have been disappearing throughout human history, long before we invented the concept of the Bermuda Triangle. The sheer volume of maritime and air traffic that passes through this particular region, one of the busiest shipping lanes and air corridors in the world, means that, statistically, a certain number of incidents are inevitable. When you factor in the unpredictable nature of weather, the immense power of hurricanes and sudden squalls, the potential for human error, and mechanical failures, the disappearances, while tragic, fall within expected statistical norms for such a high-traffic area. What makes this region special isn't mysterious forces. It's our very human need to find extraordinary, often supernatural, explanations for ordinary, often supernatural, explanations for ordinary, if deeply tragic, events. Science doesn't diminish wonder. It amplifies it. The real forces at work in our oceans and atmosphere, the intricate dance of currents, the raw power of a hurricane, the geological processes shaping our planet, the complex physics of buoyancy, are far more fascinating and awe-inspiring than any simplistic supernatural explanation could ever be. Understanding the true mechanisms behind these events reveals a world far richer and more complex than any myth could conjure. It shows us the incredible power of nature and the ingenuity of human understanding. So, the next time you hear about the Bermuda Triangle, remember, the real mystery isn't about what's unknown, but about how our minds construct narratives, and how science illuminates the incredible truth behind the world's greatest natural phenomena. Thanks for watching KnowverseTV.
If you enjoyed this scientific deep dive into the Bermuda Triangle, subscribe for more myth-busting content that reveals the incredible truth behind the world's greatest mysteries.